You go ahead, Kapato.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Before we start off, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah Kodash.
double honors to the elder apostles, Brother Liston, Shalom to all African in the streets of Syria. And as you can see, we're back out here again, out in the city. The Lord had us come back out. Lord willing, we ain't gonna be out here much longer. Get that.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
So that's what we're out here for. We're out here to come to prophesy against this place, man.
Oh, I know.
Like I said, against many kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what's going on with this virus, man. That's a part of the pestilence. Like whether or not it's a hoax or what have you, whether or not it's still affecting people.
Oh yeah.
It's still affecting millions of people worldwide. And that's just showing you this is like just a preview of what's about to really happen here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and all throughout the earth.
Yeah, when it was at low battery mode, I just took it off. It should be back
set me upon the tower,
back regular.
and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
So that's what we're doing right now, man. We're making the vision plain. And like I said in verse 1, we're standing upon the watch right now, spiritually. In the ancient world, a city would have a wall with watchtowers around it. They would have watchmen that would watch for the enemy. And spiritually, that's what we're doing every time we come out here on the highways and byways. Every time we push this word, that's what we're doing spiritually in the nation of Israel for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're spiritually watching for you. We're spiritually on a tower looking for the enemy. All right, that's what we're doing.
This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
You going to
Yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. We're giving you warning. You know, warning who? The house of Israel. You black, Spanish, Native Americans. Who are Israelites according to the Bible. You know? Verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. That's why the scriptures speak about in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, woe is me if I preach not the gospel. Because it's going to be, you got to hold, for your people to be held accountable, they had to be warned. They had to know. They had to have a chance or opportunity to turn to how about Shem Shah through the prophets. You know?
Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. So that's what the prophets commanded to warn our people in this chart, so-called Negroes, like some of the Native Americans, their transgressions, and then to repent and come back to the Lord and trust and serve.
That's right.
That's right. That's what we're doing. It said cry aloud, spare not. That's what we're doing, man. It said lift up my voice like a trumpet. We're not sparing anyone's feelings, man. We're telling them what's about to happen, man. America's about to be destroyed by thermonuclear ICBMs, man. And before that, Jacob's trouble is going to happen. It's gonna be all out hell, man. It's gonna be concentration camps, and the so-called white man, which are the biblical Edomites. They're gonna implement that RFID microchip, and that's the mark of the beast. And all that's gonna happen before this place is totally annihilated. All right, bring that out.
This is Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, For when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people.
That's what we're doing, man. I keep through the spirit. I keep saying that again, man. That's what we're doing. We're warning the people right now, man. Because we're right now we're in the calm before the storm. The storm hasn't started yet, but we're warning people that it's coming. Just like Noah, man. He was warning people that the storm was coming, that the rain was coming, and nobody had ever seen rain at that point in time. And that's the same thing we're doing right now. We're warning people that destruction is coming. Read on.
Verse 4, then whosoever hear the sound of the trumpet and take him not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning.
And that's the ones the hard-headed Israelites that don't want to listen, man. The 2/3. And you can read about that in Zechariah chapter 13. Matter of fact,
Yeah, and that was an important occupation back in the ancient world to blow that trumpet. You know, when you would sound the alarm, you got it, bro.
that's a common example. Well, they say you sound out with things like that.
But I was saying, when you sound the alarm, you know, it was a loud sound. You know, it was a loud pitch for everybody in the nation to hear. You know, and it wasn't a thing where you have to sound the alarm, then you personally have to knock on each and everybody's door if they sleeping, bullshitting, having sex, and ignoring the sound of the trumpet. You know, that's on them. You know, you don't have to go out your way and knock on each and every door. That's why the scripture says in the book of Luke, go not from house to house. That Jehovah Witness spirit, you got to knock on the door and drag a nigga out the house, and you got to teach him in his front door for him to get it. We ain't got to do all that, man.
You gotta annoy the people.
Nah.
Forcing the course of the river.
You forcing the course of the river.
He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
Yeah, and that's going into false teachers out there. There's not warning the nation of Israel, man. Just to name a few examples, ICBK, you're not warning the people of the mark of the beast. You're not telling the people that the mark of the beast is the archetype. All right, you're not warning the people of martial law. Esau is planning on killing a lot of Israelites. That's what Esau is planning. Other Israelites, you're not warning the people, man. Well, with the apostle of GMS on down, we've been warning the people, man. We've been warning Israel what's coming, man. The mass destruction and mass death is coming, man.
This is Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
So 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be cut off and die, man. And that's hundreds of millions of people, man. That's a lot of death. And these other Israelite groups out there, they don't teach that, man. They don't teach that Israel is going to die. They're in that spirit of all Israel is going to be saved. No, all Israel isn't going to be saved. I mean, ultimately, all Israel will be saved, but on this side, 2 parts is going to be cut off, man.
You got to be a cutoff first, man.
That's right, because certain Israelites, they're not going to get it until the end, man. They're going to have to worry about death by pain.
We on his page 3. I can't. Is that what you meant?
You got any more on that?
Yeah, I finished up.
Verse 7, Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word in my mouth and warn them from me.
Do that again,
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word in my mouth and warn them from me.
So Yahweh Shemel Shai set us up to be watchmen, man. Before formed us in our mother's womb, and we were predestined to be doing what we're doing right now, man. And Lord willing, we endure to the end and be saved. And yeah, 2 Ezra chapter 9.
Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 6. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs.
That's the times we're living in, man. The times of signs, man. The so-called UFOs, the chariots of Israel.
Oh, you can start verse 1 on that.
Oh, come, get verse 1.
The second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Fine, and we're seeing part of those signs coming past, man. We're seeing mass hysteria. We're seeing insurrection of the people. In America and in different countries, we're seeing that insurrection. This coronavirus, man, that's a prophecy, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's a prophecy.
Yeah.
We're living in heavy times.
And even though we sound like broken records, which we're going to sound like broken records, we see the signs of the chip, man. That's being more and more evident. It's coming to the point where it's like, how the hell don't you see that the chip is, on its way?
Right.
Now they're scanning people foreheads. I was actually looking at I was on YouTube, and they had certain advertisements with basically door hand to door contact, safety, security. And basically, it looked like the person had the chip, certain ways to authorize your door to actually, either be open without you actually manually touching it, man. So they're trying to get people, because really they're getting people desensitized to really
Human interaction.
human interaction, and to really let technology, take the steering wheel, so to speak.
The coronavirus is like the perfect, it's the perfect pandemic to bring about the new world order. Like, I believe that devil, David Rockefeller said that. He said we need we need one good catastrophe. He said something like that. He said we need one good catastrophe to pretty much just roughly paraphrasing to kick it off.
Mm-hmm. That's all you
He
need.
said it in 84.
You got the exact quote?
No, he said it. We wait on the right world event.
Oh,
But he said it in the early 80s.
Yeah, this coronavirus, that's pretty much what he was talking about, man.
Mhm.
Because, like the brother said, that they're desensitizing people to get the chip. Like he said, that they're scanning people's foreheads. That's when they get that brain implant.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Revelation 13 and 16 was going into. Matter of fact, hold that on that.
I got that quote.
Bring it out.
Alright, it says, we are on the verge of a global transformation.
Mm.
What we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order.
You see that coronavirus is that right crisis to bring about that new world order, man. And there was an article that said, like, pretty much there's no end in sight, man. There's no end in sight.
Well, they say possibly it's going to be another 2 years of this, man.
Yeah, right.
And these hospitals are slumped, man. They got their backs against the walls, all these different hospitals.
Right.
You see certain images. Which, it's two perspectives. Some people say ain't a damn thing going on in those hospitals. And then, on the other side is these hospitals are goddamn
Crying nurses.
going through it. Yeah, nurses crying and talking about the hell and the agony. Yeah, that they're going through. But hey, through the spirit, I believe it's going on.
I think it's going on.
It got to be going on. All these different deaths and things of that nature. Because Esau's gonna push that pestilence. What's the point of actually fabricating a disease when he don't give a fuck about the people, and he has in the Georgia Guidestones are killing the majority of the people off any damn way, and he has the money and means to lay low for months, years, decades. Those intricate bunkers that they have all throughout Europe and all throughout the United States, that those fallout shelters and things of that nature, they'd be extremely extravagant, man. They could live a lifetime. They could live damn near 10 lifetimes in those bunkers, man.
Right.
But you got it.
That just shows you that these elites, they know was coming because, like the boy said, they got the bunkers. Why else would they have bunkers?
Oh, if
They
you
know something's coming.
Mhm.
watch that movie, Downsize with Matt Damon,
Oh yeah.
and it's basically about the people being too downsizing themselves to being 5 inches tall, and their money being larger. So if you only got like $500,000 at this size, because you take up more space, they shrink you to 5 inches, and now you're worth like 12 million.
That's crazy.
But really, when you watch the movie, you had a sector of people that shrunk themselves to basically to be able to have more money, more resources to survive the oncoming apocalypse.
Mm.
So some major event was about to happen on the earth, and they actually shrunk themselves to then go further into the earth.
That's crazy.
And in the movie, like how you were saying, the bunkers, the little 5 inch of them, they were in this hole, and they had to walk 11 hours their size to this bunker where they were going to survive for thousands of years.
That's
so
crazy.
it just go to show you, like, their level of bunker thought and survival is on a whole other spectrum.
They're fully invested.
They're fully invested, man.
You got it, bro.
Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Right, the end is manifest now. We're at the end. We're at the last seconds of this kingdom, man.
Mhm.
Because when Yahushua gave up the ghost on the cross, that was the end. That's why he said it is finished.
It is finished.
That was the beginning of the end, and now we're at the last stages, man. We're at the last 2 stages before the kingdom of heaven will be ushered in.
Yeah, because there's only a few prophecies left. You know, and the Bible is literally thousands of prophecies. You know, hundreds, if not thousands of prophecies that's located in that book alone. You know, and we in the last couple of prophecies that's left, man.
Once that right domino, once the right domino fall, it's like you ever see where the dominoes are. They have one, but it might hit one, and
Oh, yeah.
5, 6 other ones gonna open up, and that's all we're waiting on. Because, like the brother's going into this crisis, it's leading into harlotry and wickedness increasing, as the scriptures say. It's leading into people distrusting people.
Yep.
It's leading into famines.
Yep.
They're already saying in a lot of these stores that they already limited your ability to buy as much stuff as you wanted.
Mhm.
And I believe next week or soon they're going to limit your ability to eat to buy pork and beef
Oh yeah.
even more.
Yeah,
So
like
like you
food.
said, the right moment is the right things going to open this thing up, man.
That's right.
That's exactly what this coronavirus is gonna be. Everything.
That's why I said the beginning.
Yeah. Verse 6. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the sand from the sand perils and shall
And
see
you know
by-
what? That's why we don't got nothing to fear. Because we are ones of billions that's actually doing the work. All right, you gotta let that soak in your head. Of billions of people on the planet Earth, the Lord called you to do this work right now. And the Lord didn't call you in this work to destroy you. Because it's like, what separates us? The works. Everybody out here said they believe in God and looking for God's return. And, you know, it's a video I want to share with brothers. You got this Jake woman walking in the store, and instead of a mask, she had a little miniature Bible across her face. It literally, not for real, it was a little Bible, a little miniature Bible. It was like a pocket Bible, and she was walking around like that. But that ain't works.
That ain't works, man.
We the only ones that's out here. I mean, it's starting with the apostles and elders and other men like the boast, but we ain't got nothing to fear. We're not afraid of no coronavirus. How many Israelites have died that know they're Israelite?
Right.
Besides Comfy.
Besides, and he deserved that shit.
Yeah.
Because he was a demon.
Yeah.
But how many that truly believe in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai,
Died from the coronavirus.
standing on the doctrine, risking their life day in and day out, died from corona.
No.
None. And I believe some brothers caught it, but and what? We killed it with some regular herbs. You people gotta go stick pipes down your throat,
Ventilators.
ventilators, and taking experimental drugs and shit.
What is it? Hydroxychloroquine.
80 letter word.
Disinfectants.
Right.
And people did that shit.
And died. A lot of people been dying from these treatments too.
A lot of y'all people going back to the spiritual world with some embarrassing marks on you, man. Watch it here.
Isaiah 44, 1 and 2. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not.
That's right.
O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen.
Yeah, man, these people, like Salakia. I was reading this post, man. Since this quarantine and all this shit done happened, you got couples that live in a house that ain't had sex, kissed, hugged, or anything in the same house right now. This is how big of a fear it is. You got it, bro.
That's crazy.
That man said that I was driving and I saw two individuals walking on like a sidewalk or a trail that was on the side of the road. And they were standing 6 feet away from each other, walking and talking like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all gotta get in the car together.
I'm telling you,
What the fuck is wrong
we
with y'all?
don't even have like I'm saying, like you got to put your space, put yourself in these people's, like we're gauging them, not them gauging us. So at the end of the day, these people are in fear, man. They live in the same house. You got people in the same, married couples in the same house that ain't had no sex since this whole thing. Social distancing. That's why a lot of these men beating on you women, man.
Yeah, and really a lot of these damn women push that social distancing spirit. You know, just like how they drag men to churches and all that, they push that spirit on men, and really they don't you know, naturally have affection for the men that they live with. It's just
Right.
it's just fucking contracts. So they use that as an excuse to even not have sex with men, because most of the time these women be cheating with other men in the city any damn way.
And really, these women are already ready for the chip, man. They're
ready.
already into sex with robots, man. Let's be clear. These 2020 women are already intertwined with that sex robot life, man. So they just give them a reason to go in the back room for hours and you go through batteries, man.
You got it, bro.
These women, man.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For the Most High have not given us a spirit of fear,
That's right.
but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
So like the brother was going into, these people are scared, man. These Babylonians are scared. But the Lord didn't give us that spirit of fear, man. He gave us the spirit of a sound mind. Because Isaiah 33:6, wisdom is gonna make us stable, man. So we're not freaking out like all these people out here, man. Because we know what's coming. We already see what's coming, man. And not, like they say, knowing is half the battle.
That's right.
We already know, so that's already half the battle won.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The only thing now is we gotta just go through Jacob's trouble. Just keep a sound mind.
Stand firm. Look at that.
This is Proverbs 3 and 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh.
Because we're in the flesh, we might be shook up a little bit, like shit starts getting real. But we're not gonna be we're not gonna be in shambles. Like we're not gonna be completely confounded, man.
One to commit suicide.
Yeah,
We already knew it was coming.
You got these people bugged out wearing damn whole scuba suits in the supermarket, man, thinking that's what's gonna save them. You know, that ain't the spirit you should be in. And it'd be the biggest ones in the church. It'd be the ones that be having the biggest donations, that's constantly supplying and feeding their pastors revenue. You know, and they got the least amount of faith, man. The Lord then blessed them with the faith of Jesus Christ to feel like they're protected. They know they're not protected, man. And them churches haven't protected a damn thing, man. You seeing all these different churches being raided due to this coronavirus and pastors getting locked up and things of that nature. You know, the Lord's not with those churches. The scriptures speak about the Spirit, man. John 6:63, the Spirit, which is the Comforter. Psalms 34:7, the angel of the Lord encampeth around. That's what we stand on top of, man.
Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord
Is a strong tower.
Strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, these people, they don't got the true names of Yahweh Shem Shai. All the names of their false gods don't have no power, man. Calling on Jesus, which is really Serapis Christus, there's no power in that. And like the brother was going into, these churches, they don't really believe in the scriptures, man. That's why all these churches closed down when shit got real. I don't know if they're opening up now, but I know that they got shut down in churches.
I saw a little quick video. Actually, top mega churches are being asked to bail out small churches so they can come back.
I got a precept for you.
30 leaders passed away due to the COVID-19. All these dudes right here are pastors. Yeah. They close to the city.
It look like a lot of black pastors too.
Israelite pastors.
Israelite pastors.
So the Lord destroyed these idols now.
Mm-hmm.
That shows that the Lord wasn't with them. But where in the scriptures did the Lord let a man of the Lord or one of his men perish by a plague, man? Well, where can you read about that in the scriptures? That shows that the Lord wasn't with them.
I got something there. This is Colossians 1:23. And it says, and if ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, was made a minister, who now rejoice in my sufferings for you. That was the point, but being settled in, man. You know, this is the time now for the men that stand for the Lord to be settled in your belief. This ain't a time to be wary and questioning. Because like you said, the fear is going to come. That's the flesh. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be shooken up enough to curse out the Lord or turn your back on the Lord. Like, why? You know, it should never be to that point. It should just be enough that, okay, this is scary, but Lord, comfort my spirit now. It shouldn't be, it's your fault, Lord. Because once you do that, you're putting your faith into another power.
Then that's how you start justifying wicked actions.
Yep.
You justify the chip. Well, if you was with me, I wouldn't have took the mark of the beast.
See?
I was hungry, and you said that you was gonna feed me. I didn't get no food.
Right.
You know. So I had to take it. And there's gonna be a lot of jakes that's gonna justify themselves taking that mark of the beast and complying with Esau's system.
My son.
Right.
But we like that boosty spirit, but we hungry. All right, Lord, you think the Lord give a damn about you being hungry? This ain't even food. That's the whole problem with our people. Our people are animalistic, man. The spirit should always shine through that. That's the connection, man. Fuck this flesh, man.
Yeah, bring out what you got.
This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. That's what's going on now. People panicking. People really down by trusting these hospitals. They're gonna feed you with all the medicines, and that's sorcery. Pharmakia, dealing with all these administering drugs. You know, that's why you can't put to death, man. You put your trust in Egypt. You know, trust in pharaohs. You trust in getting buttered up by these stimulus checks, man. This government might not be handing out money for the next year or so, man. That's not what's going on, bro.
We pushing 30 trillion.
Yeah, we are, bro.
And proof of what we're trusting in Egypt gets you is that guy who went to the hospital because he was coughing and they forced him to get that vaccine. It just shows you, man, like that's what's gonna be happening when that chip is implemented. People go to the hospital because they're sick and then they end up getting chips.
Yeah, that shit is Dracula's lair, man. You know, those doctors and those nurses, which really they have that American dream spirit in them.
Yep.
So vaccinations, drugs, you know, pharmaceuticals, and and really treatments, injections. That's their life. They don't see anything wrong with people taking injections and all these things. And you could actually get with them and you could discuss, which we don't do, of course, is pointless. But I'm just saying the logic of it. You know, they don't have natural logic. You could tell them the Most High created medicines out of the earth. You know, you could go on a dandelion root. You could go into all these different herbs and the benefits, and people that actually cured themselves from ailments and prove that these different vaccinations and things of that nature causes Alzheimer's and different sicknesses, and it's not good for you. And they still ain't gonna drop their occupation, man. You know why? Because they might be making $75,000 a year. You know, they know that being an MD, a medical doctor, or in any type of medical practitioner, that's top dollar in
That's a top career.
that's a top dollar occupation, man.
Job 9:24. Physicians of no value. They know there's no value in giving people because ain't nobody, they ain't gonna stay in business like police.
Well, Joe 924, they're giving it to.
Job,
Yeah, brother, get that. Brother can get that.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you talking about the physicians
Job 13:4.
Yeah, get that.
get it.
Physicians of no value.
Physician no value. Yeah.
These damn doctors, the riches, man, because they know that the ingredients in the vaccines are detrimental, man. They know it, but
Mhm.
they're still they inject little babies with it, man.
And through the spirit too, can I add this before you get that scripture? I was at the 7 Under where I used to get herbs at. Man, they closed off the herb session. They said 2 at a time, but then they prepackage it to give to you if you just get, I mean, because they don't want nobody so-called getting COVID-19, but they making profit off of it and hiding the real truth that, look, these herbs actually works. Prior to this COVID, man, that damn herb session line was open like a mother. Whatever you want.
Stick your nose in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah, the water. Yeah, because that's how
That's how
it really
close to the
was.
depth you can get to it.
Yeah, and you had your own scale on it, but now they don't even want you to weigh your own scale. How you know I need a pound of cinnamon? I just need a little ounce. But you ain't gonna pour it because you prepackaged. But why are they hiding the fats that look? These herbs really heal. You know, don't go to the hospital because the hospitals have the vaccine that has the COVID in it.
Well, that goes into the
Probably,
scripture.
yeah,
That's
that's
the
a good
scripture that
point.
we're going into because at the end of the day, everything people believe in if it's FDA approved,
Mhm.
and herbs aren't FDA approved.
No, they're not.
So that alone cuts off of people's belief in it. You tell people believe in this pill, that's cool, but that herb, they don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Because the Food and Drug Administration advised it, man.
Right.
FDA is the same organization that GMOs.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, my, yeah, but how you doing, bro? Good seeing
Yeah.
you. Mhm. You got that in Job? Anna?
Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
You got it, Cabal.
Cons. So like we're going into, man, these doctors, they're forging to lie, and the word doctor means to falsify.
Mhm.
That's what the word doctor means, man. Because they try to look like they're all holy. They wear white, yeah, they wear the white garment.
Mhm.
They clean shaven, soft voice.
Glasses.
Yeah. They try to actually act like they're gonna heal you.
Mhm.
Really, they're gonna make you. They're gonna keep you sick so you can keep coming back.
But
Mhm.
doctors, a lot of people don't know this. Going back into like the 50s, doctors used to recommend cigarette smoke.
They did.
Like if you go back to a lot of early cigarette commercials, it'd be doctor approved.
Yeah.
Now here we are 40, 50 years later, and now that doctors, now the surgeon, the general surgeon on warning and shit, man.
Right.
That's to show you. 1 minute they'll recommend the poison, and then the next minute they telling you why you shouldn't take the poison.
Mhm.
But we supposed to believe them.
Matter of fact, I got a quote on that.
Yeah, I just want to bring out something real quick. Deep was saying regarding this hydroxychloroquine. It says it is in class of medications that was first used to prevent and treat malaria. Today it is used to treat rheumatoid arthritis, some symptoms of lupus, childhood arthritis, juvenile arthritis, and other autoimmune diseases. It is not clear why hydroxychloroquine is effective at treating autoimmune diseases. It's like why are they using it using medicine to treat the so-called coronavirus supposed to be used to treat malaria.
Mhm. Well, and somebody at a press conference, one of those which he's not even doing no more, if I'm not mistaken, Trump, and those coronavirus press conferences, he was doing them daily. But one person asked, why don't you promote hydroxychloroquine? Because if you was watching, you see how he kept speaking about hydroxychloroquine in those press conferences, but he stopped speaking about it because a lot of people was dying from it. When you go into the different cases, they was testing people with hydroxychloroquine, and a lot of people was dropping dead from that shit, man.
Yeah, they were taking way too much. I think the few that died was in over there in Africa. They were overdosing with it. Because again, all this shit is experimental.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, all this medicine none of Esau's medicine is meant to heal you. That was never the purpose.
The scriptures doesn't say.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we say herbs, because herbs heal you.
Mm-hmm.
It brings you back to wholeness. But Esau's medicine was never meant to. It's all experimental.
Yeah.
That's why before you do anything, they make you sign 1,000 forms,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that they not liable.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get that definition of pharmacy, and then you got it, Kabar. This is under the word pharmacy. It says a store where medicinal drugs are dispensed and sold. The science or practice of the preparation and dispensing of medicinal drugs, which goes back to the Greek practice of the druggist or drug, which really it goes into a spell-giving potion. When you go into the different, I remember seeing that in the dictionary back in the day. When I first, around the time I first came into truth, I used to just read the dictionary and go into certain words, and then it said it plain as day. It said spell-giving potion. Because back then, you would have witches, you would have what they call medicine men, different, practitioners on the left-hand side, and people would be sick and they would have ailments, and they would go to them for treatment, or if they wanted to play spells on the individuals, so they would concoct. They would have the brewer's pot, they would have the big wooden spoon, and they would mix medicine, man. And a lot of those people that took the medicine, see that practice is very lucrative, because the medicine that they would have, it might have been homegrown, or it might have been inaccessible for the public to get their hands on. Just like now, most people don't. What the hell is in hydroxychloroquine? We don't know. What's in the Advil and all majority of these? You look on the back of the label, it's all kind of goddamn words with Z's, X's, and V's. You're like, man, I can't even pronounce this shit, man.
Yeah, with a number in between it.
Yeah, with a number in it. So when they would give the people the drugs, the people would take it, and they would have slight relief. But then the demons would come back, so they would always have to come back, and that's how they got addicted to it. And it's the same thing now.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing now, man. Like you were talking about how they have pop, and they put all types of different shit in it, like they put bad weed in it.
Mm-hmm.
They put some weird shit in it, like they show you these Disney movies.
Yeah, they did.
It's just like the vaccine, man. They got animal cells in there. They got fetus cells.
Yeah, fetus cells.
That's the same shit, man. That's like a potion.
Mm-hmm.
That just shows you that this devil Esau is a witch, man.
He's the ultimate witch.
The ultimate witch.
When you think about, like you said, a lot of those witches that were called like the witches of Salem, they were really nurses and healing people.
They were.
But that was Esau beginning to get rid of the holistic, natural way of dealing with things. Because he's the one that's really, like you said, putting the bat wing and the eyelids and shit in a pot, metaphorically, because he's the one doing all that. But a lot of people, we call a lot of people wicked, but a lot of these people, they be having medicine. They be dealing with the herb. It just be the spirit they be in.
Yeah.
It's Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy,
Mm-hmm.
for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So trusting in this devil, that's not gonna get you anywhere that you want to be, man. That's gonna get you in a position that you might not be able to get out of, man. That might get you on your deathbed.
Hell yeah.
So, brothers just mentioned in Rush too about his wickedness. He's trying to hide it, but he can't hide it.
You can't hide it, man.
You got so many people on the internet exposing this devil, man. Even his own people. Like the scripture says, his tongue shall fall upon
His own head.
get that, scripture.
Said the pit that he shall dig, he shall fall therein.
Psalm 7:15 says that.
I got a precept too at the. Well, I just bring this out in the meantime. This is Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and family through her witchcrafts. And you can't say that's not America, man. This is the house of witchcraft. If you compare these drug companies, which these drug companies make a lot of damn money, man. You know, they make hella money. They might get sued for 10, 20 million dollars. That ain't nothing, man. Because how much do they make off of those, you know, so-called antidotes and treatments? They make billions of dollars, man. But if you accumulate all these different drug companies together and look at the revenue that they generate way more than these other countries.
Yeah,
Trillions of dollars. Because America is the highest drug consumer out of all nations, man. This is the cocaine capital. This is the heroin capital. You know, this is just a large drug market. That's why the scriptures speak about the trafficking of Esau.
All these pharmaceutical drugs come from China.
Mm-hmm. Come from China, and then it's marked up like a mug. You know, those drugs be high as hell. You might get a bottle of pills, and that bottle of pills might run you like $500-600. Now you'll see what niggas will do. Niggas will take the pills and sell them individually, and they might make $2,000-3,000 off of a thing of pills that they got. Which really is you have to be diagnosed with a certain sickness in order to receive them. Which even at the same time, a lot of those doctors do slide the shit under the table too. But you see how a lot of people eventually become addicted to it, and Esau works on the left hand side. So he deliberately puts these drugs out here so that you can take it, man. I got a little bit more on there. Says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. And that's what's going on now. What he said, the skirts that's on the face, that's Esau covering up, man. And he's covering up the lies, he's covering up deception. You know, they put a face out there in the front, a doctor. Like you said, he might be up in age. And Jake get desensitized to the elderly. Yes. You see a man that's 70 years old, he went home a fly, man. He can't physically hurt anything. This man done caught goddamn more bodies than certain men that fought the war in Iraq, man.
Pedophile.
Yeah, pedophile. Recommended certain, and then you'll see certain cases where these doctors will get indicted, man. They'll get locked up, and they be facing a lot of time.
Yeah, malpractice suits.
Hell yeah, and then it'll show like they basically just tapping into the true spirit of being a doctor, but they're not giving Esau his cut. They start sliding a lot of drugs under the table. They recommend individuals that don't even really need it, these drugs, that dosage, this dosage, and then they make and generate millions of dollars off of those different drugs. Yep. But then they'll get caught up. Esau do his his homework, his inventory, and start seeing that things he ain't getting the money that he's supposed to get. And then they clamp down on their asses, man, and replace him with another drug dealer, basically, or a doctor.
Good example of one of the devils that tries to smile and put on that persona that good is Bill Gates.
Oh yeah.
He's not even a licensed medical doctor.
Hell no.
But this nigga's recommending everyone to get vaccinated, man. That just shows you how he saw the devil. He's not even a medical doctor. How does he have the authority to go to other countries and inject little kids with vaccines?
Yeah.
That veil on the people's eyes.
They
ain't even questioning it.
Yeah, he be going to India, he goes to countries like that, and these people think he's like the most high.
Mm-hmm.
That's so rich, man.
Yeah, to the clouds. Are you,
he's a devil.
anybody? That's Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied.
Right. And Bill Gates is a perfect example of that, because like I said, he be going to all these different countries. He doesn't keep at home, man. He goes to these countries and he brings nothing but death with him. But the people, they got that veil over their eyes so they can't see it, man.
Mm-hmm. Trust and oppression. And he was never voted. You know, who the hell voted for Bill Gates to be a vaccine, you know, to push vaccines and things? You had those, I don't know if y'all seen that video on YouTube, the two girls, they had face masks on, and they had the papers, and they was basically just doing illustrations through the papers. And it was like, don't take the vaccines. They was talking shit about Bill Gates. They was like, we never voted for this motherfucker. You know, basically, we never voted for him to be in office. He's not, like you said, he's not licensed to even push these drugs. So the reason why he can do that, because he's sleeping basically with the elites, man. You know, metaphorically speaking. But you know what I mean. He's in a bed with the lesser luminaries, which work for the elites, and he pushing the program. It's all kind of quotes. Yeah, and it's all kind of quotes of Bill Gates speaking about the New World Order, speaking about population control. Why would a man that wants to cut off the population try to save it at the same time, man? Well, he sees that as saving it, killing off majority of the people, man.
His words are smoother than butter.
Yep. War was in.
Like you said, that gentle type, humble type.
That's right. That's right. You got it.
Shades and smiling in his face. You can't trust somebody like that.
Nah.
He's like always like smiling in your face like that. I mean, it's the devil.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a little more?
Yeah, just finish it up. It says, I'll start from the top. Habakkuk 2 and 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and keepeth unto him all people.
That's Esau to the T, man.
God.
That's Esau.
And the worst of predators get satisfied for a time. I don't care if it's a 20-foot anaconda. After they get their meal and stomach it, they chilling. They're satisfied. Wolves get satisfied. Lions they don't just hunt for the F of it. You don't see lions just killing and just walk away from the gazelle. They just did it just to get their exercise and to see if they still got it. But this devil will. He hunts the lives of millions, man.
Klepto parasite.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. Who opposes and exalted himself above that is all called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is as a power, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
That's the spirit that Esau's in. Yeah. Esau's in the spirit of trying to be like the Most High, trying to be like he's a savior. Right. Like he's coming to save the world. That's what these elites think. In their twisted mind, they think their New World Order is really saving the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they think. But in reality, they really want to destroy the whole world, man. They want to destroy everything. So that's the nature of Esau, man. He's destructive, even to his own son.
Yeah. Adversary, to be adverse. Like when you watch these different movies with what they call you have the protagonist and the antagonist. The antagonist a lot of times you know, he'll stand up for certain things, and sometimes it'll be certain things of integrity, so to speak. You be like, you know what, that's a good point. You know, actually, you know, he'll drag you into the spirit, and that's what a lot of these different leaders will do through their charisma. You know, you'll listen to him, you be like, damn, he got good points. You'll listen to Trump, you'll listen to these different leaders. Dave Ramsey, you know, you'll listen to these different Edomites, and you believe that they have actually good points, but they have really diabolical way of going through with it, man. You know, and it's wicked. It's not the ways of the Most High. The Most High didn't, you know, set up Esau, you know, to establish his kingdom. He set up the Israelites to establish his kingdom. So no, it don't matter what goddamn white man, Chinese man, East Indian, Arab. It don't matter who the hell it is. We was never to serve them any damn way, man. Whether he has a good idea for the world reformations, getting the poor class. That's why the scriptures are against voting. You know, you got Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, and Trump in his race, and you got a lot of jakes that's going for Joe Biden, man. Which really is two devils on one pole, basically. It don't matter who you choose. And I want the greater devil, if in my opinion. They're doing a bit.
I got a precept too.
Okay, got it.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. That's that where he was put up in Carcass Mountain, wherever he spread it out, Roman Empire there.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. On the Turks to name few. You can't, Esau was, that's one of Esau, well, body, that's part of Esau's body.
Yeah, it is.
Turks,
Hell yeah.
Esau. And they came out and they went against the Byzantine Empire all the way up to World War I.
All the way up to World War
And
I.
all the other Edomites, they gained their power for getting us in slavery and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he came out again, out of his prison to what? Deceive the earth. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, World War III, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. The point of the matter is, he came out to deceive the nations again.
Tell
That's
lies and
that's-
trickery.
Yeah, the Bible is live right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing right now.
That's right.
Right. And it's really goes back to the garden, man.
It goes back to that.
The serpent. Esau still got that same serpent spirit as he had in the garden, man. But it's like on the highest level that's ever been. Like that little serpent turned into a dragon. That dragon that it talks about in Revelation.
Mm.
Got that.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 12, for we wrestle.
If I can say, the walls of the devil, that's like the trigger. That's how all the cunning nature of Esau, how Esau trying to act like he's a friend. That's what that's going into, the walls of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
And that's talking about the elites of this society, man. The Edomites, the head tribe, the tribe of Amalek. That's what that's going into, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're really being controlled by Satan. Ultimately, Yahweh Shai through Satan is controlling them, because Satan works for the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
But the master of Esau is Satan. That's where they get the orders from.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't like a physical battle, man. We don't plan on trying to fight Esau carnally, because we don't have that power, man. The Lord has to unlock that spiritual power in us, man. That's the only way we can fight against this devil, man. Spiritually, not carnal, because you got these other Israelites out here. They got their little guns. They got their little blocks. They think they're going to do something to Esau, but that's Esau's blessing, man. Our blessing is the spirit. Their blessing is the sword. That's how we got to fight Esau, man, through the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it, man?
Terrorizing them through this word, man.
Fine.
Not doing terroristic attacks, throwing Molotov cocktails in the White House and shit like that, man. That don't get you nowhere. Because after you do it, you could kill an Edomite, you could blow up a building. What happens after that?
Right.
They gonna fix the building. They got insurance on the goddamn. They gonna replace the other Edomite. That's why even these stupid ass niggas that are they might kill, like their woman might be cheating on them, and then they'll kill the man. But all that's happening, your ass getting locked up, and she gonna go get another nigga, man. It's vain. So it's spiritual. You got, in order to defeat spirits, you got to fight spirits with spirits, man.
That's this word right here.
Through the word.
That's how you're gonna fight the spirits.
Hebrews 4:12.
And you're gonna get you're gonna see the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Bring that out.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
So all our weapons of warfare aren't carnal, man. This is our weapon right here, man. The word of the Yahweh Shai, the spirit, man, the Holy Spirit. That's our weapon. We don't need a damn rifle, man. We don't need a AR-15. We don't need AK-47. We don't need a Glock. We don't need none of that, man. This is our weapon right here, man. And this through the spirit of power, how about shot? This is how we're going to defeat this devil, man. Like I said, bringing down strongholds. That's where it starts, man. We're bringing down all the lies of this devil, man. That's
wiles.
where it begins. And ultimately, it's going to end in the chariots covering the skies, Yahweh Shai coming back and destroying this devil. That's how it's going to end, man. Because it's already written. That's the prophecy.
I got that in Hebrews too after the brother. You still more on that?
Nah, I got
Okay. This Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. You got it.
So that's what this word does. This word is a spiritual source, man. And like the brother said, we're terrorizing this devil with this word alone. The elites, man, these devils, they got all the money in the world. They got all the resources, all the power in the world. But they're still scared of this word, man. And they're scared of us because this word is using us to bring out the word, man. These devils are scared of us. That just shows you that the Lord is with us, man. Because, like I said, they have all the resources, all the power. Why would they be scared of some men standing on the corner, man?
Broke as hell.
We're broke, man. We're nowhere near their level, man. We're nowhere near. But they're scared of us though, because we got this word, man.
Got this word.
They're scared of us.
That's right.
This is Psalms. Let me start at Psalms 44:4. Thou art my king, O Yahweh. Command deliverance for Jacob. Verse 5. Through thee we will push down our enemies. Through thy name we will tread them under that riseth up against us.
That's right. Through the name of Yahweh Bashanah Shai, man. That name has power.
That was it. Let's go. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us.
That's right. We're not gonna trust in weapons, man. We don't put our trust in anything of this world, man. We put our trust in Yahweh Bashanah Shai, which is not of this world. That's what we put our trust in, man. That was it on that.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good.
That's right. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, man. We don't need no weapons. Like I keep saying, man, we don't need no weapons. We got wisdom. Wisdom is gonna get us through to the end, man.
I got a precept too.
You can bring it up.
This first Maccabees 3, and I started verse 17. And when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude, and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day? Unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few. And with the power of heaven, it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. So it don't matter, man. That's where you have the story of Gideon in Judges with the seventh chapter. You know, that great battalion or band of men. The Lord didn't want all those men fighting in that war, man. You know, he didn't need that many men. You know, because he can't. What the scripture say, he could raise up rocks. You know, so when he started axing down the men, which I'm pretty sure a lot of those men that actually, you know, got cut off were military men. Those men were suitable for the battle, but it ain't about that, man. You know, it's about the spirit and being compliant. Scripture speak about how, you know, obedience is better than sacrifice. So abiding in the spirit of the Lord is a weapon in itself, man. Doing this work is a weapon. That's why Esau can lock you up, and they would lock prophets up and kill them, because they would terrorize, they would speak against the Roman authorities, and they feared those men of the Lord back in the ancient world, just like they do now. John the Baptist, it spoke about the kings having nightmares of John the Baptist, man. Yahweh Shai. You know, all these different men of the Lord, they actually feared them. They were petrified by them. And you had when I think it was Herod, when his wife's daughter was having a feast, and he asked her what does she want in all the kingdom and all the realm. It could be granted to you: gold, silver, mansions, slaves, diamonds. You know, because that's what people are into. You know, nowadays, diamonds and things of that nature. she could have slaves, like like we just said, slaves, servants, whatever you want, it could be granted to you. One wish. If it, that's a big thing, man. If you could actually have one wish of anything in the world, that's a lot of people dream of that. And that one wish that she said was to put John the Baptist's head on a what was it? A charger. That's what it said. Put it, which is a platter. But she said putting his head on a charger. And he did that. That one thing that she wanted bigger than that was the biggest thing in the world. She could have had anything. She could have had possessions in Africa. As much as they ruled in Rome, she could have had her own province, man. But she wanted John the Baptist's head. That's good enough. That will suffice. That's basically what she said.
And in the background, like you said, the governor they was worried about John the Baptist, so they probably was talking about John the Baptist, and she was amongst them, and she was probably going to appease the governor of their state.
Well, I think her mom actually told her.
The mom was amongst the governors.
And she was amongst the governors.
She was amongst them talking about John and stuff like that. She was like, well, you know what? During this party, let me tell him this and blah blah blah. Let me calm his nerves down, cause he worried about this John the Baptist. Cause she was an Israelite too.
Yeah, brother.
Because like in the beginning of that chapter, it said Herod heard of the fame of Yahushua. So it's like the first few verses are like a prelude to then it goes into the death of John the Baptist. So pretty much, he heard it. It said he heard of the fame of Yahushua, thinking that John the Baptist rose from the dead.
Yeah.
He was scared.
He was scared as hell.
That's real.
This is Matthew 14:1. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yahushua. He said,
Tetrarch means
For
four, right?
uh-huh.
So he was pretty much a ruler of like 4 big provinces.
and he said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him.
Bro, scared as hell.
4 different Herods.
All right?
It's multiple Herods.
What happened to Tetrarch?
When he was the Tetrarch, he was over 4 regions. Yeah, because the word ark is the head, and the Tetra, he was the head of 4 regions.
Of that chapter, and it brings it all back together. But you can tell in the beginning of that chapter, he's like, well, hold on, man. Like,
He back?
he's back. He was tripping.
He was scared as hell.
He saw losing sleep over us, man. He's like, man, we shut the cities down and whatnot. Stay home. Now they back on the streets.
Shut it back down.
Hey, because it's nothing new. It's nothing new is under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Shit, them girls probably watching the stream right now.
They're back.
Pissed off. Biting their nails to the goddamn bottom.
Oh, they ain't gonna prophesy no more.
Yeah. Right.
We got them. They're off the streets.
What? They're back.
Them girls was scared, man.
And that's how you know this word contains a lot of power, man.
Right.
You keep going on that.
All right, verse 3. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. And when he had put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod.
So they've been trying to get John the Baptist, man. They was what you have conspiracies. They were conspiring together. You had top Edomites that was willing to do anything to get John the Baptist knocked off. What they call like political hitmen. But you have individuals that knock off people in a high position in the government. And you have these different men, and they would put they last dollar up to get John the Baptist removed from the face of the earth, man. He was that much of an influence to the Israelites. And they knew if that spirit was around for so long, those men would have waxed stronger as a nation. And that's how you know he's a man of the Lord. Those guys are, man, they out of there, man. That's how you know he's part of the elect.
But when they said John the Baptist ain't the truth, but it clearly said he was a prophet.
Right.
Clearly.
Clearly said he was a prophet right there. So how is he not a man of the Lord? You know what I'm saying? But that's how you know, like the brother was saying, they wanted to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. Verse 8, and she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John the Baptist's head and a charger. Verse 9, and the king was sorry, nevertheless for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given. He commanded it be given.
Well, he was sorry through the Spirit, you know, because he really didn't want to go through with it, because he knew the backlash. Just like with the Caesar, when he was to sacrifice Yahushua, you know, and basically grant the right for his sacrifice, he was sorry. He didn't want to do it because he had that dream, and basically he was getting if I think it was his woman that had that dream. It was his wife that had that dream, you know. So basically, he was really advised through the Spirit not to do it. You know, it was really on his spirit not to sacrifice Yahushua. But who pushed him? 2/3 of Israel, man. 2/3 of Israel said, nah, F that, man. Kill this man. Take him out. So he had to do it, you know.
And in order to keep his reputation.
And to keep that reputation up. So it's the same thing with that. Like you said, his name, his word was on the line. You know, he said that he would grant any wish. And then if she said John the Baptist and he would have said no, then it's like, what, you scared of this man?
Right.
You the king of all the, so you got fear? You know how women. Eve, man.
You a hoe.
Yeah. His respect would have dropped.
Shit talking black.
This is Psalms 105 verse 15, saying, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's a warning to anyone who tries to mess with the men of the Lord, man. Even if you do kill a man of the Lord, even if a man of the Lord is put to death, man, he's going to come back. And that person who did it is going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Lord doesn't play when it comes to his men, man. All right, and with that, Lord willing, that was edifying. The next brother is going to come up to speak.
Matter of fact, oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, just going into actually what he was saying about, you know, putting your hands on the man of the Lord, that's a violation, you know. But it's Revelations 11 and 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth, the power of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies. And if a man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. You got it, bro.
Exactly. You know, see, that's how we know. First, like the deacon was saying, that you put your hands on the prophets, you got an issue with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You offend the prophet, you have an issue with the Lord. And also it shows that the prophets have power. You know, at the end of the day, through the patience, like Elijah, bro. You can get that account too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Elijah. Actually, first this Psalm chapter 18. This Psalm 18, and then start at 1. Just start at the top right there. But still hold that Acts 16. Because with the power that, that is really within us, this Psalm 18 is going to show that the Lord is going to protect us too. All right, go ahead.
The Psalms 18 and verse 1. I will love thee O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress, and my deliverer, my power, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, the horn of my salvation, and my high tower.
That's right. So like just read that account from John the Baptist. Yeah, just read that account from John the Baptist. It shows John the Baptist showed a level of like boldness for him to go up to Herod and speak like, man, what you're doing is off. You know, Herod do some nasty ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And some adulterous ass shit. You know, and John the Baptist wasn't scared to just go up and tell him to his face. Because what, he understood that the Lord was his fortress, his deliverer, or whatnot. I mean, yeah, he got his head cut off and put on a charger, but people look at that as a gruesome death, but they don't understand it. That's why Isaiah 57:1 is written. It may seem that way. That's why Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, it may seem grievous to the naked eye, to the carnal eye, but who's to say he felt anything? Who's to say the Lord wasn't with him in the first place? Same thing with Yahweh Shai's passing away on the cross. You see? And he went through one of the most gruesome deaths. You know? But
God, verse 3.
but at the end of the day, what? Power was given unto him. And the Lord was always standing there with him. Yahweh Shai was a prophet too. Alright, go ahead.
God, verse 3. I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised.
That's right. I'll cry upon the Lord who's worthy to be praised. Yahweh Shai cried upon to the Lord on the cross. You know? He did. Alright? And also, just to back the deacon's point up where it says that prophets have power, they have power, alright? Or if you got an issue if you mess with a prophet, Yahweh Shai said it was finished, came back with all, I mean, he already had all powers, but he came back glorious, and just because he was afflicted, now you see everything today happen. That's power.
Power, man.
And the scripture say he's gonna come back and not meet you as a man. Meaning what? He's gonna meet you in a glorious form, in a form of power. He's a prophet. You 2/3 niggas decided to touch a prophet. You Edomites and you heathens decided to touch a prophet. So now the Lord got an issue with you. And if someone can find that scripture, it goes, the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the
Hosea 4, 4:1.
Hosea 4:1.
We're teaching about
Yeah.
Verse, I'm going to continue, verse 3. So shall I be saved from my enemies.
That's right. So shall I be saved from my enemies. All right. Go ahead with Hosea real quick.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
Yeah, the Lord has a controversy with these inhabitants of the land. That's why you can see the state of this place right now. COVID-19 and all these other things, economic crisis, global economic crisis. You know what I'm saying? You've been ignoring his word through the prophets. Soon, they're going to afflict the prophets and the soul. Matter of fact, they're going to get that. So we're going to Acts 16, right? We're going to read Acts 16 and 16 before all the way to chapter 17. You know?
Oh, it's as it is written, O Jerusalem, that killeth the prophets. You know?
And that's why he started Zephaniah. So Campbell said he started with the house of Israel first. All right, you Jake got it. You Jake. And on top of that, Jake, you can't be mad because back in the book of Matthew, you said put it on your children.
Yep, put the blood on our hands.
I mean, of course they don't understand. All right, but
You should have said it.
you should have said it. The Lord's like, okay. But when it comes, don't be fucking mad.
Writing checks your ass can't count.
Yeah.
For the Lord had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
That's right.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Yahweh in the land.
That's right. Well, also, you know, it says in the land specifically. You know, when you read Zechariah 13, and it says, you know, third parts, 2/3 and 1/3, but it talks about in that land.
That land.
It's speaking about America. There ain't no truth in this land. The only truth is right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, under the right doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, these other people don't know what's going on.
They don't know.
There's no reference to the Lord. You know, and quite frankly, us prophets, man, we are absolutely tired of seeing the Lord being disrespected day in and day out. Every day you wake up, he is disrespecting us and not what's the word? Not regarded.
Regarded,
considered.
revered, yep.
Revered. That's a good. He's not considered. These people are inconsiderate of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And quite frankly, I'm tired of the Lord not giving the props he deserves.
Yeah.
And then for what?
We ain't getting the props we deserve.
We just read. He's worthy to be praised. All right. That's what the brother is trying to say, man. Basically, he's worthy just to be praised. Okay.
Yeah, he's worth his weight in gold, so to speak. You know, it's value in praising the Lord. It's value in teaching the knowledge of Yahweh. It's value in truth. Or what it say? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, because people praise things every day.
Praise their damn self.
Yeah, people praise their damn self. So it's like work to praise the Heavenly Father.
If you can celebrate a birthday, better celebrate. Praise Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That self-glorification, like the Captain Optimus said, they can praise themselves. Why did that go on? Is that in my book?
Nah, I got this. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood.
All right, so you open the dictionary and you read about America, and that definition's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Reread it. Well, what does America mean? Go ahead, bro.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood.
That's America,
Blood
man.
touches blood, man. That's America. Anyone asks me, so what do you think about America, Hosea 4:2? That's what I think. This brother likes to bring out the Nahum 3:1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what America is. You know, that's the definition. That's why the Lord has a controversy with this place. And I'll tell you too, you heathens, and I'm not speaking about Edomites and Eli. I'm speaking about you heathens. All right, because yes, you follow John 8:44, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're heathens. You follow after the heathens, so you can consider yourself a heathen. The heathens are a part of the controversy that the Lord has.
Yeah, and just to add to what you were saying, I was looking at this article, I think this morning before I went to bed. They had these archaeologists that actually dug up some skulls in America, 16th century around. So that would be what, around the 1500s. It was around the 1500s, and they say that they were, quote unquote African skulls, so-called Africans before 1611 that was already here. And what they were saying was they did those guys, them Edomites, man. Scriptures speak about them wiser than Daniel. So they said they could read the whole story of that man through his body, through the skeleton.
They found that piece of, they found that little girl's jaw, her dental. She was chewing gum, and they said they could tell how old she was, her family, the whole nine.
They could tell the whole nine. It's crazy. How the hell you could tell somebody? They could tell what deficiencies that they could tell if you were sick, if you was not. They could tell all that. And what they were saying that the people, their bones, they were so deformed, and their skeleton was so deprived of minerals that you could tell that they were working constantly, man. They were working, and you could tell a lot by the teeth. They was looking at the teeth, because they look into the skull, they look into the whole setup, bones and fragments and all that, and they could tell that those people will work basically to death, man. They were jacked up, and just like you said, that's the prime example of America. And if you dig up our ancestors that was on the shores of America, which that's off, of course, but if you really do a detailed research, you can see that those people, yeah, those archaeological digs, and if they actually showed and spoke about the tragedies that actually happened to our people, man, people would be in a goddamn uproar, man.
And that blood traces through our blood too as well.
Hell yeah.
We the offspring of the so-called slaves. Well, really the slaves that was in America.
Post-trauma, man.
So the Lord is going verse 3. Therefore should the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. And that's happening right now. People's language on that COVID shutdown. And it's still happening to this time. There's going to be more mourning and devastation amongst them. Because a lot of people make the things in the same light as the men of the Lord. The men of the light have clarity in the future. You people don't have clarity. Day by day, you're trying to get to that clarity amongst the objective goals that you have in the society, where the society is set up. But in the spirit, we know that the Heavenly Father say that it ain't gonna go good, even though 100 years is given to a sinner to live, it should not go good with the Heavenly Father's sons. And that goes to you and me too that runs America. And you people that got the back end off of us being in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
It says, one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beast of the field. A lot of beasts have been coming into these communities in America. And with the fowls of the heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also should be taken away. And that's been going on in the news. A lot of animals are getting annihilated by Esau operation, black ops, so to speak, experimental functions.
And that really goes into when those missiles hit, man. Because the scriptures speak about how the Lord is going to destroy man and beast. Isaiah the 13th chapter. You got it.
Yeah, matter of fact, Acts 16 to show the powers that the prophets have.
Acts 16 and verse 16. And it came to pass as we went to prayer.
Yeah, so as we went to prayer, this is Paul and Silas. Go ahead.
God, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. The same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High Power.
And if I can say one thing on that Acts 16, when you go into that damsel, she was one of the Delphic oracles.
Like,
The oracles of Delphi.
it's kind of like, I was gonna say kind of like Washington.
That's the Delphic oracles. The oracles of Delphi, what they would do, just like I think Leonidas, he climbed to that top of the tower, and they were virgins. Basically, you know, like you had temple virgins and things of that nature. Just like you have temple prostitutes, and you would have the virgins in the temple that would sanctify themselves and basically, you know, be in the temple and service the temple for their whole life. So that damsel, she would have oracles, and she would dispose the oracles unto the men, and she would receive rewards. And when you look into that word in the Greek, it goes into pithos, which is where you get python, because that snake. You can actually look into. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the definition, because that snake was one of the not damsel. Let me get it real fast. I forget. I'm gonna get it real fast. You can keep going on that.
Verse 17, the same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, these men are servants of the Most High Power, which shew unto us the way of salvation. And this did she many days, but Paul, being grieved.
Divination. Salaki. Yeah, the word divination, when you go into her divinations, it goes into pithos from puto. I think I say that wrong, got it. The name of the region where Delphi, the seat of the famous oracle, was located. In Greek mythology, the name of the Pythian serpent or dragon that dwelt in the region of Pytho at the foot of Parnassus in Phocis, and was said to have guarded the oracle at Delphi and had been slain by Apollo, a spirit of divination, which is the oracles of Delphi. She was a Delphic oracle, and when you go into those Delphic oracles, they said this is what was spoken of. You know, they say that they knew people that actually was gonna come like miles out Before they actually showed up, they already knew that they was coming. They was working with the left hand side heavy.
Hey, guess what? It was the same way with when David went to go. No.
Saul.
When Saul went to go meet Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, he was told, whatnot, to go walk this way or whatever. And right when Samuel had walked out, the Spirit had it to where, okay, I know who you are, come follow me. And that's when he went up there and ate with the priest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So but that was done on the right hand side. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can see the similarities, but like perfect, like the Captain Ollie was saying earlier, like with the herbs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who are into the herbs, but it's just in the wrong spirit.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? So it's even Samuel kind of had that type of
Spiritual inclinations.
exactly,
Yeah.
that natural tendency
Mm-hmm.
that Saul was about to come to him,
Mhm.
and it just hit him. Okay, come. He just knew off the bat. It's the same thing like
Yeah.
he was just explaining with the divination and what was it called?
The Delphic Delphic oracles. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to go over.
We read verse 18. And this did she many days, but Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the Spirit, I command thee in the name of
Okay, just let
Hamashiach,
know. You know, it's something good.
Yahushua Hamashiach,
That's cool.
to come out of her.
So,
And he came out
I just gotta
the
get
same
it.
hour.
oh, you finna go now?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I leave in the next 30 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna see who Kabash gonna have up next. I'll probably just go next then. So yeah, that's cool. Then. No problem.
That goes to show you the patience. All right, finally, let him get out. Get him out. You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead. Keep going, bro.
Down verse 19. And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains were gone,
Exactly. That's the same thing Barzal, Deacon Barzal was just going into. Because they were making what? They would go to her, whatever, and she'll get profit off, whatnot. Once they saw that Paul took that away, they got mad.
Mhm.
All right, go ahead, brother.
He messed up their bag.
He messed up their bag. It's the same thing Yahweh Shai. With Yahweh Shai. It was like, man.
The money changers.
Money. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead, bro.
they caught Paul and Silas,
And Silas, he said they caught him.
They caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers.
See, that's like an apprehension.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's an apprehension. What did they do? They laid hands.
Mm-hmm.
Such
Man, you fucking
Seized
my
them.
bag, man.
Yeah, yeah.
They seized them.
Seized them.
Go ahead, brother.
and brought them to the
To the next.
magistrates.
See, Salakia, they touched the prophets. They insulted the prophet. Now, this is where the issue started. This is where the issue started with that they had. Now we more got an issue with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
God, and it says, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive.
Which was preaching the name of what? Yahweh Shai and salvation. All right, and salvation will come through Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Neither to observe, being Romans.
Right, go ahead. See, same thing.
Wisdom.
Paul was advert. Go ahead.
No, I just said wisdom. That's all I was gonna say. Wisdom. That's it.
Go ahead.
Us Romans. You know, use the citizenship. And sometimes you got to do that. You know, if you're in certain situations, you know, you got to play the American citizen. You can't be Israelite 24/7, and that's the precept right there, man.
You know what that's called too? Being covert.
Yeah, covert.
Being covert. And you know, real talk, when you kind of read it, Paul was practicing being covert even when he condemned the spirit that was in that lady, the Susan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because she was following him around for days, speaking loud, clamorous. Like, all right, man, get him out of here. Because you gotta think about it. Paul was from the jump came to the truth. He was always on the run. People wanted his life. So you got someone following you around. Blah 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 blah. All right, shut the fuck up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be heavy, because he said, well, in the name of Yahweh, man, it's just, get out.
And rebuked it.
God. Verse 22, and the multitude rose up together against them,
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
and the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them.
That's right. Go ahead.
And when they had laid many stripes upon them,
That's right.
they cast them into prison,
Yep.
charging the jailer to keep them safely.
Exactly. See, so they put their hands on him, they caught him up, and they threw him in jail, beat him with stripes. All right. But watch, the power comes to him. Go ahead.
Verse 24, who, having received much, sluggish, having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison, and made their feet fast in the stocks.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed.
See, Paul and Silas prayed. This goes to show you that prophets do have power. The Lord listens to his prophets, and this shows you the power of prayer as well.
Yeah, and they was in the hardcore chain game, man. It said they feet was fastened in the stocks.
Yep.
You know, in the chain gang they would lock you up, like you would see oxen with yokes, like the scriptures speak about us being yoke fellows. When you see those oxen with yokes, they'll have like double yokes where they'll be connected by the yoke, man. So they had them basically yoked up in the system. You got it.
And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto the Most High.
They sang praises unto the Most High. This is why I kind of wanted to start with the Psalms 18, because that's a prayer. You can read Psalms 18 along with 2 Samuel, the 22nd chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And the prisoners heard them.
Yep.
And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken.
See,
Mm.
that's power. Go ahead.
And immediately all the doors were opened,
Woo!
and everyone's bands were loose.
You see that? That's power right there. That's power. And now all them individuals who had laid hands on Paul and Silas, the Lord got an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think about it too. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, he meant to have those people lay their hands on Paul and Silas. He needs a reason to judge them. Straight like that. The Lord just does not judge for no reason. But really, the Lord does not like killing. You can read that in the Wisdom of Solomon. And also, going in the Wisdom of Solomon, he doesn't like to destroy his creation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I created it. Why would you take your time building a whole sculpture, right? Bah, fucking boom. Like I just spent 8 years of my life, man.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. The Lord just spent what? 6,000 years creating the planet, herbs, people, whales, animals, all these things, fowls in the air, just to destroy it. He doesn't like doing it. But if there's a reason to, you gotta get out of here.
You gotta do it.
That's part of it. You even go back to the book of Genesis. All right? You go back to the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter, it talks about what? I know his brother loves that script. It talks about the repented the Lord to make man.
Mm-hmm.
Because what? They was gonna slap monkey off.
Yeah. Oh, Ariel used to love that scripture right there.
Oh, that's the spirit, man. That's the spirit.
He's like, yeah, they repented the Lord. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Come, verse 27, and the keeper of the prison, awaking out of his sleep, and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself, supposing, like,
I suppose.
okay, yeah, kind. All right, so like, supposing that the prisoners had been fled.
Yep. Meaning he thought they, broke out of jail. I mean, shit, they did, man.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit broke them out.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, "Do thyself no harm, for we are all here."
That's right. So you see that? That gatekeeper, or the jail master or whatnot, he was like, "Man, I'm fucking screwed, man."
They finna kill my ass.
Kill himself. Like,
Because he knew they was gonna kill him.
What out?
You know how he's fuck up at the job. God damn it, I don't like get fired, man. Shit,
Yeah.
God, man, the boss was pissed. Well, that's how these Americans are. Me, I'm like, shit, fuck it. I have to go find another job.
Yeah.
But like, that's how he was feeling at the moment.
And he knew they was gonna gun for his head. Because it's two directions they gonna go. Some of them gonna go out. Some of them go in to go goddamn jack up the wards or whatnot.
Yep.
Kill whoever locked them up. Because those was more than likely murderers.
Yep.
Top guys in that basically top criminals. They didn't just lock Paul and when you hear about the men getting locked up, they didn't just get locked up with petty thieves and things of that nature. They got locked up with some of the worst, man.
Exactly.
Medieval, ancient world criminals.
Hell yeah, them ancient world, and they were horrible, man.
Hey.
Big, husky.
you gotta think about it. Most of the crime is very personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people, you know, these crimes nowadays, it's a drive-by, pop, 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 like that, and then drive off. Nah, I'm talking about personal murders, choking someone to death, stabbing somebody. It's very personal, hands-on, it's very intimate.
Drowning.
That's how they had to do it back then. So those are very like stout, hard individuals, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's who Paul and Silas was locked up in there with.
Lifers.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, think about it. Who did I'm not gonna say that. Who did these Israelites who wanted Yahushua died take over? A murder.
A murder. Yep.
You know, he was
Barabbas. Yep.
murder.
And they didn't say how many people he killed.
Yeah.
He could have been a serial killer, man.
On the loose, just caught him.
He probably could have killed up to 75 people. You don't know. It didn't say. Yeah, but he was a top because everybody knew him. He was a notorious killer, man.
On some Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
He wasn't just a low. Like you hear about some. You know, you might hear something on the news of somebody killing, but when serial killers be on the run, everybody hears about them, man. They become infamous, so they get fame, and everybody knew about him in Israel. So he had it wasn't just he either killed somebody in a high position, or he killed a lot of people to the point where his name was broadcasted out on the most wanted list.
Verse 29, then he called for a light and sprang in and came trembling and fell down before Paul and Silas and brought them out and said, sirs, what must I do to be saved?
See, Paul's still Paul inside is still in the spirit to do the work. Even after they're beaten, thrown into shackles, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they prayed to the Lord, and Paul showed mercy to the gatekeeper. Don't kill yourself. Probably showed him comfort. You know, that's another thing too. It's like, you know, some of these cops out here, you know, some of these military members, they don't know no better. That's representation of centurions in the scripts. For what? Some of them might be set up to be shown mercy. This guy was set up to be shown mercy.
Yeah.
Then he asked, what I gotta do to be saved? Paul understood, he's just doing the job. Right. Cops out here writing tickets, they're just doing the job, getting fucking mad at it. They got to earn their bread too.
Yeah.
Some of them some assholes.
Yeah.
They say that.
Yeah.
Being a real Nick asshole. Right. But some of them actually trying to put food on their table, man.
And that's a hard pill to stomach for a lot of Jake, man.
That is.
You know, because even Jake had a problem with stomaching the officials in the government being cool back then. Tax collectors.
Right.
If you in the IRS, if you work for the government, if you're a police officer, anything against citizens, that's how we feel. Yeah, you work for the man, then you adversary on to Jake, and Jake was like that back then.
This man showed a favor of mercy to Joseph in Matthew 27 chapter. He was a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave him the opportunity to take the outside body and wrap it in a fine linen to preserve it. You see? Yeah. Look,
Lord got spirits out here.
That's it. You know, it could be a spirit who, you know, a Jake who's actually, you know, running for Smyrna mayor or some shit like that, or Marietta, trying to be the Marietta mayor, whatever. Okay, cool. And the Lord actually might have mercy.
Yeah.
You just gotta have that discernment to be like, do I exercise mercy or tell, you know, condemn, you know, or tell not condemn, well, tell judgment.
Yeah, the Lord said, be wise in serpent. Harmless doves. So use the word now. A lot of these people gonna be attracted to us because of that light we got.
That's the spirit, because he said, Marietta Mirror, and he knocked on my door one day. Yeah, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Black dude, huh?
Your black dude,
See,
over there.
you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
But hey, shit. At the same time, it's like you never know on both sides.
Yeah, cause we not like niggas. Like we not street niggas. Like we see everything from behind that everybody don't see. We got the full scoop on that.
Hey, that's what Captain Albert said that earlier today. It's like we're not. These people aren't observing us. We're observing them.
Mm-hmm.
We see how they move. We're gauging them.
Now the subject only nobody. Think like the world. He was that cop, man. Like nah, man.
See, Jacob,
We know
right?
they gonna do this, good stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, certain scenarios, we ain't like we got our own people.
Yeah, you'll be in certain situations. A cop could have did worse, but he kind of let you off. You know, things of that nature. Which we ain't, justifying cops. But hey, in the spirit, it was certain men. Like it said, Cornelius, which was a centurion of the Italian band. Centurions were men in the military. Which I think centurion. I think that goes in the century,
100.
which is men of 100.
Like that goes back to the centurion Yahushua.
Centurion Yahushua, and he spoke about his faith. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Matter of fact, you can stop there. Get Acts 17. Start at 1.
At 17 and verse 1. Now when they had passed through Philip,
Somebody, I gotta see it too. Amphipolis, I think.
Nymphilis,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Amphipolis.
Nymphilis, and
Apollonia.
Apollonia, they came to this Thessalonians. God.
That's
Yeah,
what-
Amphipolis. Yeah.
That's where the Thessalonians come. That's how you got those two books of two epistles of First and Second Thessalonians.
God.
This is where Paul pretty much, kind of correct me if I'm wrong. He established the camp.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. Because you don't see how he's going to establish it. Go ahead.
God. Thessalonica,
Yeah.
God. Where it was a synagogue of the Jews.
That's right. There's the synagogue of the Jews. All right.
And Paul, as his manner was,
Uh-huh.
went in unto them.
As his manner was, you got to read Paul's epistle.
Yeah.
I tell you, an epistle that will really get, you'll really get to know Paul. Very short, but very informational about how Paul was. Book of Philemon.
Yeah, Philemon.
I'm talking about, you can read the Galatians, all these other books that Paul wrote, spoken, but when you read Philemon, it really tells you who he was as an individual. It really gives you an indication of who you get. It's a really
Intimate book.
intimate, it's really personal.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
That's how Paul was.
He's a Pharisee. He was a very top Pharisee.
That's what he said in Philippians. I'm a Pharisee of the Pharisee.
Mm-hmm.
He's a top guy.
And then too, but you had different Pharisees. You had, he was a righteous Pharisee.
Yeah.
He just followed Yahushua. He said how he ministered. So that could be.
Hey man, I'm telling you, the book of Philemon really lets you know. That's why that kind of hit home right there. It said as his manner was. Man, read how his manner was.
Yeah, mannerisms.
I
Yeah.
tell you, Paul was a very, very loving individual. He was a very caring individual. Every time you read his epistles, I want to focus in on the first part of his epistle and the last part of his epistles. All right. In the first part, he's always greeting. It's a long, long greeting.
It's a long green.
1 to 8 verses every time. It's pretty much saying Yahweh Shem Yahushua and Bashem Come.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, but it's like, boom, boom, like.
He gives his greetings out. Even in a lot of those books, and he speak about the bowels of mercy. He spoke about how he constantly had continual sorrow in his heart. Because really he felt guilty. Because what he said that I persecuted the Jews. And he knew that he was really up in there, up above a lot of those disciples in the spirit. He was really he got more revelation and had deeper understanding than the top disciples. But he said he didn't even feel like he was that dude, so to speak, because of the things that he went through, and he had that he had that thorn in his side. So he had certain things that was pressing him and making him humble. One of the main things was the persecution of the Jews. So what he said, I'm in debt now. All the people I persecuted under the Pharisaical, so to speak, being a Pharisee, being in that Pharisee government, he was very zealous. So he was putting pressure on a lot of those Christians at that time, or the Jews at that time, And after he woke up to Yahushua, when Yahushua knocked him off the horse, was going to Damascus, you know, he woke up to the knowledge, and he was like, man, I gotta serve the Lord for the rest of my life, man. And he did that.
Became a eunuch.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
From verse 2, and Paul, as his manner was, went in into them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them.
Yeah, 3 Sabbath days. Is that 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And reason. Alright, so he what? That's how you know when you read the book of Thessalonians, the book of Philippians and Thessalonians are real good books. It wasn't more such of as a rebuke or reproof. It was a lot. There's the exhortation, and it's telling people they're good. You know, real talk. The Philippians, they're in a good order.
Yeah.
They're in a very good order when you read that epistle. And you get to the Corinthians.
Yeah.
Hey man. Hey.
Them Corinthians, man.
What the hell's going on right now? You know what I'm saying? Get to the Colossians.
Yeah.
Man, what's up with this angel worship?
Uh-huh.
What y'all doing, man?
Galatians. Them Galatians were going off.
He went in on Paul.
Oh, foolish Galatians.
No, Peter.
Oh, he went on Peter. Because he was proving a point in the book of Galatians. He was really going into his ministry and everything that, you know, transpired in his ministry. Then he started, you know, telling about Peter and the accepting of the Gentiles. Then he started cussing them Galatians the hell out, man, because he was really showing his passion. So he was like, man, I even, you know, had to even acknowledge and get on Peter, you know, due to the fact of this, you know, the Gentile Israelite discrepancy, so to speak. Because what, Peter was over the house. Yeah, Peter was over the house of Israel, which Yahushua anointed Peter to be over the house. That's why I said, and you will establish my rock. But Yahushua also anointed Paul to be over the Gentiles when you read in the book of Acts. So he did have, you know, by right through the Spirit. Yeah, he was sent to speak up, because he was overstepping his jurisdiction, so to speak. Peter was kind of going off. He wasn't representing for the Gentiles how he was supposed to.
Hey,
You know.
I got that for you.
Oh yeah. Kind of, yeah, you got.
This is Galatians 2 and verse 6. But of these who seem to be somewhat, whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me.
I give you that.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Go ahead.
The Most High accepteth no man's person. For they who seem to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me.
Mm.
But contrary-wise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me,
Mm-hmm.
as the gospel.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's what the deacon was just saying.
Yeah, the gospel of the uncircumcision. That's why you don't read about Peter doing all those missionaries. Why? Because it says James, Cephas, and John, which seemeth to be pillars. They were the ones that was holding down the fort. Yep. And
So he magnified his office.
he magnified his office. Mm-hmm.
It says, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter, for he that wrought affectionately and Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was very fervent in spirit. To, hey man, I want to go out, preach to these people.
Mhm.
That's like what Deacon was just saying. Like you go into and read the book of Acts. He was selling on a ship over here. He came. He went from
To Atlanta?
yeah, ship
To here?
over here.
because she's
He
going.
went
I'm
to
going.
Oh, okay.
Macedonia. I
Decatur.
think he went from
I mean,
Macedonia
like
to
the Decatur
Philippi.
area, downtown Decatur. So
From
I'm going, I'm trying to
Philippi
head back.
to Thessalonica.
But if that
You know what
happens,
I'm
if you
saying?
shut down, just let me know what the motions are after.
He was
Okay,
always
all right, that's cool. Got it. All right,
Y'all
yeah.
trying to-
I think what chapter 15 of Acts is when Barnabas and him split.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you bring that, you like that chapter too. It's like they split. You know what I'm saying? And they just went to different places to preach the word.
Mhm.
You read the book of Peter. I think it's the first chapter. It talks about. Matter of fact, get Peter, 1 Peter 1:1. All right, but keep going to this. You got it, Deacon.
Gone.
And when James,
But yeah, that's a lot of history, man. It's good information. You know, sometimes Jake be like, man, all this information, but now that's some good history, man. It's real important to know that history, to know like the scriptures say, knowing your past. You gotta know how things transpired to the point that we're at now. And you see the zeal Paul had through all those letters he wrote. You know, you had the book of Romans, which was wrote, and then you had the Galatians, Corinthians, a lot of them which was in Greece, Asia Minor, Corinth, Greece, and Galatia. What else? You know, the book of the Hebrews. Huh? You know, all those different books. And they were, a lot of those books were long, like the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. They was long as hell. Because he had a lot of work to do. Paul had a lot of work that he had to put in to bring those Gentiles back into the fold. You got it, bro.
Yeah, bring this out real quick.
First Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus.
I know this is Peter, you know, he was over the circumcision.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you kind of really look into both, it's hard talking to the circumcision too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They stubborn, flip. They think they know something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, cool, you know the law, but you don't know how it's shot. See what I'm saying? So it was just as difficult for Peter, just as difficult as it was for Paul, but the Lord had to have Paul to go out and do all these missionaries and go and have these afflictions and things of that nature. I'm not saying very scholarly, very. Hey, Philippians 3.
Hebrews.
Bro,
He had to get he got extremely scholarly when he which of course all the books are scholarly, though. You know,
That priesthood, though, that really covers Jake's sins.
he went deep with the law. He went deep with that circumcision knowledge that a lot of the circumcision or the Hebrews were into,
that's right.
and he had to show how Yahushua was that greater sacrifice. You know.
That Hebrews, you could say is like a synopsis of it. Just plain. Stop sacrificing turtle doves. Yahushua is the sacrifice.
Yahushua the
But
sacrifice.
he just went very deep into it. And when you go into, you get that understanding. He really was pushing the significance of Yahushua.
Yeah, he was.
Every significance of Yahushua.
And he wasn't trying to show them up, but through his spirit, he went deeper than the Pharisees and the Sadducees could ever go in the scriptures, man. You know, went into the I think the veils and all those things, what it really represented, going all the way back down to the time of Moses. He went into all that information and showed how it represents Jake now, man.
Hey, look,
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek.
The order of Melchizedek.
And he was the third chapter. We start at verse 1. Just in reading on down, it tells you that pretty much Yahushua was worthy of more glory than Moses.
Then Moses.
You know,
Oh, how he was above the angels.
above that. That was the first chapter.
The first chapter.
You know, like, hey, Paul was going in on that.
He was going in.
Hey, that's a whole
Yeah.
sit down. That's a live stream.
Yeah, that's a stream right there.
Go ahead, brother.
Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia.
But then, yep.
Bithynia.
See, that's all what? Asia Minor area.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta think of, I know this is Peter, but you gotta think about everywhere Paul was going, man. That's a lot. That's a long ways to go. I think Barnabas, where was he from? He was from Cyprus.
Cyprus,
He
yeah.
was from the little island Cyprus.
Mm-hmm.
Barnabas traveled too, man. You know, but keep going in Galatians.
Yeah, that's Kittim in the scriptures.
Yeah, that's right. And you got it, Deacon.
Go on.
Galatians 2 and verse 9. And when James, Cephas, and John,
Cephas.
and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me and Barnabas the right hands of fellowship, that we should go unto the heathen.
See?
The
What I
heathen.
said earlier. You can call it 2/3. You can call it Israelite a heathen, man. Because you got heathenistic qualities.
Mm-hmm.
You see, within those 3 or 4 verses, Paul called niggas, Gentiles, uncircumcision, and heathen.
Heathens, yeah.
And you can call them every one of the 3. Shit. And nowadays you call them a nigga.
Yeah. What's the word nigga just means black, you know, because really Jake is in a black state of mind, you know? And heathen means a what? Country dweller?
That should be it. Verse 9 should be it.
That we should go unto the heathen and they unto the circumcision.
Mm-hmm.
What Peter and them go to the circumcision, and Paul, go out and do his ministry. That's why we have the whole book of Acts and what was going on there. All right.
And Jake was in Greece. When they was in Rome, they was jacked up, man. Their forefathers was bugged out during the time of Maccabees, and a lot of them sold out and gave their rights away, to the which it was by force. It was, like they say, to get down, lay down, with in the book of Maccabees with the Antiochus Epiphanes. So when you had the generations after, they didn't know nothing about the Israelites. They didn't, they might have knew. They knew a couple of things, but they wasn't really into being an Israelite. They were Greeks, whether they was in Antioch, like you just said, Bithynia, whatever location they was, or Corinth, and those cities were like metropolises, major cities where everybody in Rome and different countries, and all throughout would go to party. They would party. They would have like Vegas. So it was hard for Jake. The truth wasn't in those areas, man. That's why when you read about Joe, like we just read it, Acts, the 17th chapter, you hear about the idols, man. The idol of the unknown God, because he was in those other areas, and Jake was going off just worshiping Hercules. They was worshiping Jupiter, Dionysus. Oh, and one other thing too, May 1st, May Day. I just did a lesson on it, which my joint is messing up. My upload ain't working for some reason. But May Day goes really back to the worship of Dionysus. The worship of Dionysus and Aphrodite, going all the way back to that Greco-Roman spirit. And what they would do, they would party, they would eat abundance of cakes and have orgy fests, man. So there ain't nothing new under the sun. And Jake could do that now on these holidays. And you see how they just opened the government around April, because they said May Day, really, the party of Aphrodite was from April 27th to May 1st. And that's really when the government opened. And you see Jake has got them going ape shit since the government opened from April 27th up to this time now, man. It's a ritual, man. Ritual sacrifice. And that's how Jake was getting caught up in those different spirits back then. And they needed, the ones that was willing to listen and comply with the spirit, they needed Yahweh Shai to bring them back in the knowledge, man. You got it, bro.
This is Acts 17 and verse 2. And Paul, as his manner was, went unto them in 3 Sabbath days, reasoned with them out of the scriptures. Opening
Yeah, I think I get up. I'm gonna have you come up. Okay.
Alleging that Hamashiach must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead.
5. Tuzzle said right there.
Suffer and risen again. Get Luke 24. Get Luke 24 and get Luke 24 and 24. All right, because it says alleging that he needs to suffer. Yeah, I wish I had to go through these things. I think it's Luke 24 and 24. All right, go ahead.
This is Luke 24 and verse 24. And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it.
Go to verse 46. So like Luke 24 and 46.
Now this is Luke 24 and verse 46.
So go back to Acts, Salaki, and read again that verse with 11.
This is Acts 17 and 3. Opening and alleging that Hamashiach must needs have suffered.
That's right. So go to Luke 24 and 46.
Luke 24 and verse 46. And said unto them, thus it is written, and thus it behooved Hamashiach to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day.
So go back to Acts 17.
Acts 17 verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Opening me and alleging that Hamashiach must needs have suffered.
So of course, Luke 24 and 46 is what Paul was preaching to the Thessalonians. Because just like the deacon was saying, he had to go to all these places. All these places are going to smack off, like he's saying. Celebrate May Day, Hercules, like you say, Apollo,
Bacchanalia.
Bacchus.
Mhm, yeah, Bacchus.
Dionysus, it's the same thing, right? Dionysus and
oh,
yeah.
you talking about the Greek and Roman
You
equivalent?
said Bacchus.
Yeah, Bacchus, which I think that would go into the god of agriculture. I think. I don't think
Bacchus is the god of that party.
it's that party spirit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Reveling.
Reverend, you know. All right, go ahead. So he was preaching to those Luke 24:46. They how shall have suffered for us to get salvation. These individuals didn't know it in certain places. So that's what he was doing. That's why he was so adamant. He didn't care what he had to go through. You know, go ahead, brother.
It says, opening it in the legend that Hamashiach must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Yahweh Shah, whom I preach unto you, is Hamashiach.
That's right. He is Hamashiach, the anointed one. He's the matrix. He's Neo. He's the one, man.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go out here and preach these to the Thessalonians, to the Philippians, to the Colossians. And this is all the places he went in the book of Acts. That's why you have these epistles. Go ahead.
And some of them believe.
Well, he didn't go to all the places. He sent some of his some men over. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, man. There's one place he did not go, but he has an epistle that I think it was I want to say Ephesians, not the Ephesians.
He went to Ephesus.
He went to Ephesus. Because he sent somebody.
Because he's locked up.
He was exactly he was locked up. And he had wrote a letter unto them, and it was sent.
But it was a couple times he sent men. He sent Timothy places. Titus.
Yep.
What he said, Titus is like a son unto me.
Yep.
I'm gonna see in my Bible in the back has his missionaries.
It was a lot of news that sent out salute too. Yep. Folks in the long list of salutations.
Hey, Romans the 16th chapter, towards the end of it. You know how JD, I want to shout out.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to shout out. Hey, look into those men that he shouts out too.
Oh yeah.
Some of the, I was going into the house of Jason. I really watched that video.
I watched that. Yeah, that was a bad
Jason.
video.
When you go into Jason, it says he might have been a cousin of Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we're going to.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We're in Acts 17.
It says,
Oh yeah. Well, this is just the image. It don't have the exact location, but if you see the locations of Paul, you see he had a big portion of the ministry, man. You know, all throughout Asia Minor, which Asia Minor is really big as hell. You know, you think about just the state of Georgia alone. Georgia itself is big as shit, man. You know, I was listening to somebody, they was talking about how these states are like many countries. You know, so he really had to go country, which he literally went country to country, you know, to preach that word. And in the midst of going through those areas, it wasn't all, it wasn't plain, you know, it wasn't a plain path for him to walk through. He caught a lot of hell going through those different countries, man. He got bit, he suffered shipwreck, he got beat, got locked up, and he kept going, man.
God. Verse 4. And some of them believed and consorted with Paul and Silas and of the Greeks in great multitude.
Devout Greeks.
Devout Greeks and great multitudes, and of the chief women not a few, but the Jews which believed not.
So that verse shows you the ones who believe. Those is a good handful that did.
Yeah, and a lot of women believe too. Yeah, because Eve was, you know, some of those women back then was in order. You know, Tabitha, the Dorcas.
Yeah, that was the one who Paul came in.
Yeah, the seller of purple linen. That was Tabitha, right?
I think Tabitha.
The seller of purple. You know, and they believed on Paul. Some of them let Paul in their house. They fed Paul when he was on the run. You know, if somebody knocked on the door, I don't know no Paul. I ain't see no Paul. If I see him, I'll definitely give you a call or, you know, whatnot. You know, they didn't have phones back then, but I'll definitely, I'll get to you.
Ananias too, Paul. That was different Ananias from I think the Acts 5.
Yeah, and
well, I think Ananias was him and his household. So we're speaking about the women, but it was his household.
yeah, Aquila and Priscilla.
So, hey, yeah, I ain't gonna say Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Magdalene.
Mm-hmm. Mary.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had women who believe, you said who? Martha?
Mary and Martha. Yep.
Mary and Martha. That's what
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm thinking. You know, who was it? I think it was Martha trying to fix things up.
Oh yeah, they was kind of getting.
I was like, if you really knew, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't going off.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
Yeah, they was kind of they kind of was butting heads though. Yeah, Mary and Martha.
Real talk,
They was getting. Yeah. That's what it was.
but there was women that women, they believe.
They believe.
You know, even his own mother.
That's cool. We finna
We
leave.
got women.
All right, Shalom. Good seeing you though.
Them women are still out here.
Yeah, well, that's why it says in 3 John, the elect lady, you know, because we get on women and we're going to keep getting on these women of, of our nation because majority of them bugged out, just like majority of these men bugged out. But you do have a scattered few that's going to be delivered, man. Some that actually the Lord has a favoritism towards, because the Lord has favoritism towards men, and he just has favorite spirits,
Hey, and even those women who he has favoritism towards, they still going to have to go through their fire. They still going to have to go through their judgment.
Yeah.
They still going to have to go through
They might be with a 2/3 nigga right now. What's
the ball.
Nabal? What's his name? What means fool? Yeah, they might be with a Nabal.
King David White.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Mi- Michael, right?
I think it was fair too. Go to, I think it was 2 Kings 25, something like that. First and 2 Kings 25.
But yeah, a lot of these women are with a Nabal, some 2/3 street nigga,
Yeah, we're close.
and they might not want to be with him or whatnot, but they gotta, they going through the hell of being with Jake, might not want to leave him, and a lot, what it say in Isaiah the 3rd chapter, a lot of those men gonna die in the war, man, and she being desolate shall sit on the ground. So a lot of those women that's gonna be in a position of humble, that's the ones that we're gonna sweep up, And they're going to get delivered through us because really, like Apostle Gabar did a lesson years ago, more women going to be delivered than men are because they got to bring back the nation. That 1/3 going to be mainly women.
It's gonna be a lot. I mean, you're gonna have some men sprinkled in there, but it's a lot of them.
Women and children. That's right.
That's Oh, it's 1 Samuel 25.
First Samuel.
Salaki, that's the First Kings, huh?
I said first.
1 Samuel 25. Let's get to the point so we can, wrap it.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, go to 1 Samuel 25 and 3.
Zakar. Just let him do it.
1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail.
Oh, Abigail.
She was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance.
She was fine.
She was a fine.
She was of a good understanding.
Good understanding.
Hey, not witness, but good understanding. Even so, I'll tell you this too. A good understanding in a woman, it's not so much of she knows scripts and stuff. It's of an order. She understands her place. You see? Who else was a good understanding? Judith. All right? She's the only other woman in the scripts who has kind of the same name as Judith.
Yep. Yahweh Da'ith, I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
So it's like, but she had a good
Deborah, yeah.
understanding with the man. She knew she was in order.
She knew her position, man.
Even though, I'm gonna be real. Let's be real. She knew she was with her. Damn it, his name is Nabal.
She knew she was with him.
I know your name, you fool.
She could have been cussing him out, but she was in order. And she buried that grief of being under a nigga. Kind of like how David had to be under Saul knowing that he was off.
Her father
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and think about that. David knew Saul was off, but yet when he found out that Saul died, he still grieved.
Integrity.
He still cried. He still missed him. Saul disciplined him.
Cause see, she didn't even cheat on a nigga, which Nabal was a nigga. So it's like, how much more would a man that's a man of the Lord? Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these niggas be getting cheated on by their women, which is wicked as hell. But, you know, the scripture says that a wicked portion is given to a wicked man. You know, but that wicked nigga, he had actually a righteous woman. Yeah. And she what you gonna go into? She was deliberating with King David. You know?
She was trying to say the
Yeah, she was. She was like, we know he a fool, man.
I'm just going to do a synopsis of it just for the same time.
Yeah.
The mom was like, man, who is that dude? And she was like, idiot, man. And then when King David caught wind of it, it's like, what? You don't know, you're not on some proud things, but you're the king of Israel.
Yeah, like how you don't know the king? Where you living at, man? Yeah.
Matter of fact, he was,
Yeah, let me go run
everybody
around
didn't know.
so
Everybody
you
didn't
know
know
who I
King
am.
David.
Yeah.
Everybody didn't know King David was a king yet because he was working for the ball, and the ball had all the money. So he was just getting his fame. And he was doing his campaign and stuff like that.
But Nabal talking shit though.
He was.
He was talking shit.
So I was like, man, what?
He like, man, I'm finna put this. He was gonna put it down on the
He
ball.
heard that, he got his boys and started running up. And tell them what? Abigail intercepted
Mm-hmm.
in order on the behalf of Nabal, not on the behalf of David, on the behalf of her man,
Yeah, yeah.
who she knew was an idiot.
And she could have conspired and got him put to death. She could have been like, yeah.
Just have mercy on him.
She just said, please have mercy on him. And they listen.
Next thing you know, he got clipped.
Yeah, he got
Abigail
yeah.
got, you know,
given to rightfully given to where she should have been, you know.
You can finish out verse 3 and then we can close.
But the man was churlish and evil in his doing.
And you know what that reminds me of? You seen that substitute teacher with Key and Peele?
Yeah.
He was like,
Oh yeah.
take your ass to O'Shaq Hennessy's office. He's like, you mean O'Shaughnessy?
Oh, yeah.
And he turned around, he's like, that's subordinate.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the ball, man. The Lord was like, man, I'm gonna break my foot up with your insubordinate.
Insubordinate. Yeah.
You know, that's who Abigail is with. But you got women out here that are like Abigail, with some drug dealing ass nigga beats up on her every day.
Yeah.
You know, out there doing fuck shit. Don't pay her no mind. Don't give her no love and affection. You got a woman, you gotta show some love.
Yeah, say it.
Even
That's the
the
part
Most High.
Right.
Even the Most High, he was like, Leah was greatly hated. He thought Jacob wasn't really dealing with her. Like, you gotta really love your woman.
I
Yeah.
mean, like,
It's do
Well,
benevolence.
you know, this is
It's do benevolence. Yeah. Well, it say the scripture saying that in the book of Corinthians to basically give her hers.
1 Corinthians 7.
1 Corinthians 7.
Showing due benevolence, but also in the same verse, it tells a woman to do the same.
For her to do the same.
You know, it
Yeah.
goes both ways.
Yeah, 'cause we ain't praising women. We just putting things in spiritual perspective. We going to the scriptures.
You know, it's like, alright. You know, show you
That's how the Lord set it up from
you
the
know,
beginning.
throw you a little bone. You know?
Yeah.
But you know, you got women out there like that. You finish verse 3.
And he was of the house of Caleb. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel and go to Nabal and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be both to thee and peace be to thy house. And peace be unto all that thou hast.
Keep going. Finish it up.
And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them. All the while they were in Carmel. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore let the young men find favor in thy eyes. For we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thy hand unto thy service.
Skip down to verse 18.
Then 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 18. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins.
See, she tapped into her inner woman, her inner servant.
And that's part of the law too, get peace offerings and stuff like that.
Yeah. So women knew how to please men back then. She didn't go to the men and offer sex, you know, offer physical pleasure. She knew how to stay in order while still appeasing those men to you know, get off of Nabal's ass, because they was on his ass, man. They was ready to take him out. And David had men that was at the drop of a dime, they go in beast mode, man.
Even those under the 30 men.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, see, like that's those are gonna be women that are gonna be a part of that 130. You know what I'm saying? But they out there. You know, if the Lord would give it to the correct man in due season. Like, you know, any brothers had any closing precepts on statements? Anything? Come, you know, hey, we back out here in the streets, Esau.
Come.
Nigga, E.
That's right.
All right. We back.
Sleazy.
Back.
Yeah.
You know, Atlanta, so we back out here.
And back at it like we never left,
You know, so,
until the Lord take us back off.
right. So,
That's right.
The grand finale.
Yeah.
So with that, we want to give our Lord honor and praises to you.
Yeah, how by Hashem, Yahweh by Hashem Rakakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the 1144 first fruit. Until next time, we say shalom.
Shalom.